is Circe by Madeline Miller. So this is the New York Times #1 bestseller. And Circe is a character from Homer's Odyssey. And this is like a retelling of her story, but I think from her own perspective, because usually if you read Odyssey, it's about Odysseus. And it's from, I'm actually currently reading Odyssey. I'm rereading it, and it is very male-centered. The female characters in there are not treated as equals. I mean, those were the times. They also had slaves, so I think there's been this like rise in literature where women are taking female characters from Homer's poems and writing novels about them from the perspective of these women. So this is one of such books. Circe. I think the design is also very lovely. Let's trace it. A-I-R-C-E. Circe. Haven't read it yet, but says it's a bestseller, so it must be good. Although that's not always. Yeah, that's pretty much never a sign. It's the same with music and with any art. Just because something sells out doesn't mean that's good necessarily. Okay. Then I have a few books that I thrifted. So this one is Faulkner. Vintage Faulkner. This is The Sound and the Fury. And I think I probably had this in my bachelor. That was like 8 years ago. I don't remember anything. But yeah, if you don't know, it is a classic. I can read you something from the back. Depicting the gradual disintegration of the Compson family through four fractured narratives, The Sound and the Fury explores intense, passionate family relationships where there is no love, only self-centeredness. I remember now, I had it in class, so I either already read it or I read like parts of it, but I don't think I read the whole thing. Next is another thrifted one. Oh, and I only paid like $2 for it or something. It's crazy. If you are ever in Switzerland and you like books, go to a secondhand bookshop. They call them, in the German part, they call them Bücherbrocki. Go there, okay? Just, you're gonna find like the most amazing things for the lowest price possible. Okay, the next book is also thrifted. Oh, it's a big one. Okay, this is Andrew Solomon, The Noonday Demon. And The Anatomy of Depression. This is non-fiction. It's the whole book is about depression, written by this guy who has depression himself, and that's like his, I guess, everything he knows about it. And yeah, from this beginning, The Noonday Demon digs deep into personal history as Andrew Solomon narrates brilliantly and terrifyingly his own agonizing experience of depression. Solomon also portrays the pain of others in different cultures and societies whose lives have been shattered by depression, and uncovers the historical, social, biological, chemical, and medical implications of this crippling disease. He takes us through the halls of mental hospitals where some of his subjects have been imprisoned for decades, into the research labs to the burdened and afflicted poor, rural and urban. Solomon analyzes the mitigations of today, reviews the politics of diagnosis and treatments, and perhaps most significantly looks at the vital role of will and love in the process of recovery. I started reading this book once before. I was reading it online, I think, or I had an online copy or something. And I haven't finished it because it's huge, but I kind of read like the first however many pages, and I remember that it kind of helped me at the time. But I did experience depression, or at least, some form of it or whatever. But now that I've been out of it for a long time, I don't even know if I'm that interested in this topic anymore. But I still decided to pick up the book in case it proves to be interesting. But it's so big, I don't know. Maybe I should give it away to someone. Not to sound insensitive, by the way. Depression sucks. It's just that because I have been, or I think I have been out of it for a while, I don't want to get into it. I'm like, like really, because I'm afraid it's going to be triggering or something. I don't know. Next, this is fiction, so this is Pachinko by Mintin Lee. The cover is so pretty on this one. Okay, so this is Korea, 1911. A club-footed, cleft-lipped man marries a 15-year-old girl. The couple have one child, their beloved daughter, Sanja. When Sanja falls pregnant by a married yakuza, the family face ruin, but then a Christian minister offers a chance of salvation, a new life in Japan as his wife. Following a man she barely knows to a hostile country where she has no friends and no home, Sanja's salvation is just the beginning of her story. This book is it's super popular right now, and the premise sounds very interesting, and all of the reviews are glowing. I'm really, really excited to read this. Okay, next is I'm afraid of mispronouncing the name of the author, but this is another book that I heard a lot of good things about. Another bestseller. Effie and Essie, two sisters with two very different destinies, one sold into slavery, one a slave trader's wife. The consequences of their fate reverberate through the generations that follow, from the Gold Coast of Africa to the plantations of Mississippi, from the missionary schools of Ghana to the dive bars of Harlem, spanning continents and generations. Jassy, I'm sorry, I don't know how to pronounce that, has written a miraculous novel, an intense, heartbreaking story of one family, and through their lives, the story of America itself. this one is a bit different. Well, a lot different. This is a classic. This is The Hobbit. And this is the hardcover. I got it because I have the Lord of the Rings. I have 3 books, but I don't have The Hobbit. And I've had the books for a while, but I still haven't read them. And I was like, okay, I want The Hobbit. I want to have The Hobbit too. I want the whole collection. And like this way, I don't have excuses not to read it because I have the whole thing. I should just go ahead and read it now, you know. So yeah, The Hobbit was the one I was missing. But it looks nice, doesn't it? And I know that he was inspired. Tolkien was inspired by Switzerland. In designing many of the locations. It's just black. But there are tons of pictures inside. Tons and tons of pictures. Like that. There are some black and white ones too. That's called the mountain path. That looks... I mean, everything that has mountains in it looks like Switzerland. But I do know for a fact that there was a location that was inspired by a place in Switzerland. So yeah, I'm excited to finally read the books. Okay, and now I have one comic book and one cookbook, but they're probably like the most fun ones. That's the comic book. That's Asterix in Switzerland. My boyfriend wanted me to have it. That's why I have it. But I don't know if... I know that a lot of Americans watch my videos. Do you know what Asterix is? Have you seen the films? Do you know about the comic books? Because they are a thing. I come from Russia and I have seen the film, but I don't know how popular the series is outside of Europe. For example, I didn't really know that there was a comic book series. I only knew about the films for a while. I only found out about the comic books when I was a grown-up. When I grew up. I only found out about the comic books when I grew up. So, Asterix in S-W-I-T-E-R-L-A-N-D. I've already read it. It's very funny. It's full of like Swiss stereotype. I mean, it's all in here basically. Save with money, cheese, and Edelweiss. But yeah, it is funny, even though it's like for kids. Even reading it as an adult, there are still some jokes that are funny, and there's like a lot of kind of political context because it's about the Roman invasion. So anyway, now for the cookbook. was and then there are random letters after that because his cat sat on his computer. So that's the cover. And from there, it goes into different dishes, obviously, because it's a cookbook. And I really like that it goes over like the condiments to have. I actually own almost all of them now. And yeah, I recently made sushi using some of the tips from this book, and it was delicious, even though they were fishless. So I did use like a fish substitute though, but it's very pretty. I think almost every dish has a photo. That's good. Yeah, those are the sushi rolls. Doesn't that look cool? Big dishes. That's tempura. You guys, I just love food. Surprisingly awesome 1 hour spicy sesame aubergine and courgette ramen. Oh, I wish I had some ramen right now, but it's super late and definitely not the time for eating. But yeah, it's a beautiful book. It's super funny, like the way that he describes recipes. It's like almost every single one has like a little thing written there, and there's a line with difficulty at the bottom of every page. But because none of the recipes are difficult, it's basically a space for like making a joke about how the dish is not difficult. Or not even a joke, just like something like sincerely not difficult.